Hey guys, so in this video, we're going to quickly explain what the sources and uses table is. And just to make sure you understand it for interviews or even if you've recently entered finance, just to understand what it is. So the sources and uses table is exactly what it sounds like. It tells you where the capital is coming from and how it's going to be used. And in most scenarios, you know this uses side before you know the sources side. So we know things like how much we're going to pay for the purchase price. We know what our fees are going to be. So things like paying our attorneys or accountants or anyone else who helped advise with the deal, investment bankers, for example, we know that, and we know how much cash is going to have to go onto the balance sheet. So in this example, let's assume that our target company generates 100 million in EBITDA, and that we're going to pay an 8x multiple on this. So our total enterprise value or purchase price is going to be $800 million. So we can make that to our uses side. So we now know that we're going to need 800 million for the purchase of the company, but then we're going to have to pay fees to our advisors and we're going to have to put cash on the balance sheet. So the actual capital need is $830 million. So now that we have the sources side figured out, we can go over to the now that we have the uses side figured out, we can go over to the sources side and figure out where we're going to get this $830 million from. So, as you could guess, debt and equity are the options you have to raise capital. For a company this size, first of all, leverage depends on a lot of things. It depends on the industry that they operate in. It depends on the growth profile, how much cash flow it produces. But for this example, we're just going to assume that we can get 5 turns of debt. So 5 times 100 million EBITDA equals 500 million. And our equity is just the plug figure. So we know that we're going to need 830 million, and we've already lined out 500 million in debt. So that means that the sponsor will have to contribute 330 million in equity to buy this business. And as you can see below, the capital structure is a 60-40 split, which is pretty typical in today's market. If this was an LBO back in the 80s, this could have been an 80-20 or even a 90-10 split. But, in the recession in the 2008 crisis, people became aware of the, dangerous implications of having, crazy amount of leverage. So those leverage levels have normalized to merely a 50-50 split. So high level, that's how a sources and uses table works and what it is. And that was helpful.